What is up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new episode. Can you believe it? 17.
Episode 17.
17 weeks of thinking wealthy, bro.
We've been thinking wealthy
That
for
is
more
insane.
than 4 months now.
That is
the first
crazy.
week into the first week into the fifth month.
Hokage.
Because
We're here. It is
Yeah.
summertime. Can you believe it? I'm blown away that it's thinking wealthy summer now.
it's thinking wealthy summer.
We grinding. I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
I think we got a good episode for you guys here. We're about to spit some fire knowledge.
We're gonna spit some bars.
There's a little thing I need to tell them though before we spit some bars. What do you think?
Okay. Yeah, I think you got to tell them
I
something.
think I got to tell them something, all right? Now, you see, before we start this episode, there's a little fee that you got to pay, all right? This is no monetary fee, okay? You won't ever have to pay a single cent. We're never going to run any ads here, right? This is an information exchange. See, we provide value to you guys. We always try to help you look at life a little differently, smile a little bit more, laugh a little bit. So if you have any of those feelings after this episode is over, you feel a little bit different about anything, go tell somebody about our show. That's how we grow the show. The only way we grow is by word of mouth. So go tell people.
Right.
Thinking wealthy summer, bro.
Thinking wealthy summer.
So let's just jump right into this episode.
And before we start, everyone
Mhm.
was making comments about the pee I was drinking, so I'm trying to
Yeah.
drink water so my pee doesn't look
He's
so
like,
yellow.
yeah, he's fixing it up.
I'm getting
The
it. I'm getting it
addiction's
back.
going away.
All right. So
Is that a TikTok clip right there?
don't know. You tell
Let's
me.
see. Okay. Anyways,
All right, so today we're going to be talking about our dreams. This is going to be kind of fun because me and Nick we're going to do something a little different.
yeah.
I mean,
Switching it up.
we tell stories a lot on here, but
Yeah.
we're going to kind of dig in a little bit more and telling kind of our dreams and the stuff that we kind of look towards for the future as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're hoping by telling that story, we can also kind of get into some advice to help you guys find that dream that you're looking for as well, or at least start to like think about that stuff, because I think for a lot of people it can be hard to actually like acquire an actual
Mhm.
dream or thing that they want to do.
Yeah.
So by kind of narrowing in and looking at maybe the way other people do it, hopefully it'll help you guys. We're just going to kind of figure it out as we go.
Yeah, like having a well-defined dream, you can like think about what you want to accomplish. You got like those nitty-gritty details that I think is really good for stepping stones to success right there,
Exactly. I think it's hard to accomplish anything without like at least a goal and a dream in mind.
Defined image.
Do you know what I mean? So I guess let's jump in. Do you want me to start or do you want to start?
I can
Let's-
start. I guess I'll
okay.
go first. So the first thing I've been thinking about a lot lately when it comes to dreams and aspirations is I no longer call my dreams dreams. Don't call them dreams anymore. I
Hey,
always call
dreams.
them goals. All right?
The reality.
They are reality, okay? I refuse to call them dreams because people who call their stuff dreams is like that's just a dream then, right? Like that's something that's not going to happen. A dream is in your brain and it just never comes to reality. Goals are something that you accomplish in reality. So I never call anything dreams or aspirations. So I hope we should still like label this dreams and aspirations, and the
Right.
first thing they hear is like quit on your dreams
Quit
and
your
aspirations.
Dreams and aspirations.
And start calling them goals, okay? That's the first thing I want to say. Start calling
Right.
it goals, because that way changes your mindset towards what you're working towards. Because you want to achieve your goals, not your dreams.
Exactly.
That's like my first little tidbit of advice.
Okay.
Do you think I should talk about like, I guess, personal dreams, like what I want to accomplish?
Sure. I
Okay.
mean, yeah, I thought we were just going to kind of dive into that.
I'm gonna just throw a little bit out there. Like basically, obviously, this is like an entrepreneurship, self-development podcast, right? And so one of my biggest goals is to be a successful entrepreneur, to be financially free, as well as have time available as well, like time free, if that makes sense, right? I don't want to be bound by having to work like 80, 90 hours a week on a giant business. It's not like that, right? Financially
Right.
free, time free, as well as inspire people and change some lives, like
Exactly.
those are my goals, not my dreams. So that's just kind of a little base run from me. What about you?
Okay. Yeah, so very similar. I think to me the entrepreneurship thing doesn't matter as much. I do like the idea of it, but I'm kind of going along. I really like this thing that we're doing with Thinking Wealthy though, because to me the more I think about
summer.
it makes me really happy to see when the stuff we talk about and things we bring up actually are helping people. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, I'm like, at the end of the day, money is important, but like I can get money in like any way. Like I'll work a job, whatever it takes, kind of thing. I'll be okay. But like to me, the main thing is like I want to like live my life in a way that helps other people and like creates positivity in this world rather than just like a net zero or a net negative. Like I want to do something for other people, So like to me, it's really important that I add value. So like I guess my goal in life is just like no matter what we do with Thinking Wealthy or whatever I do in the future, I want it to be something that's helping people. you know, and like adding value to other people's lives. So that's kind of the thing that I always set as my thing, because like, what's the point if we don't help each other out, you know, and create a better society as a result?
No,
You know what I
that's
mean?
a good point. I agree. One thing I want the viewers to start thinking about. So, kind of circling back to the define dreams and reality, right? One of the things that I think about often is that your thoughts create your reality, right? And so if you're constantly thinking about the steps that you got to take towards accomplishing those goals, not dreams, you're going to be in that state of mind where your brain is going to be constantly thinking about like, how do I achieve this next step? How do I get there? How do I get this? And then you're going to be like on the move and building that momentum.
Right.
Momentum is key too. You know, momentum is one of the main reasons most people are successful. They take that force that they got pushing them and they just keep chugging along, bro. So constantly thinking about a well-defined goal in your brain will come to fruition in reality, you know?
Exactly.
Get what I'm saying? So I think a lot of people don't have well-defined dreams. Like for me personally, right? One thing I always think about all the time is like an Audi R8, right? That is my dream car, right? I talk about this like all the time when I see
He
like,
does.
yeah, I talk about Audi R8s all the time, and I just have this specific mental image of being in the car, right? My right hand is on the shift stick because I might get a manual one. Right hand's on the shift stick, left hand is on the steering wheel. The left window's down, and then the back right window's down, right? Like this is really
Wow.
specific, right? It's like a cold morning. On the, I don't know, like the 241 or something, right? I'm flying in this car. It's morning, so there's not a lot of people out there, and it's like cold air flying in, and I just like, I can feel that, you know? So
Right.
like that's what I mean by like super well defined, crisp images of your dreams, right? So I
Right.
always think about the Audi R8 and as much detail as possible.
Right. I think it's always good to like, because when we talk about dreams and we talk about aspirations,
Mm-hmm.
it's mainly, it can seem so far off and so like out in whatever land, you know what I mean? Like I think my whole life, like I've always kind of tried to do like some sort of like content creation type of thing.
Yeah.
Me and you both have like
Yeah.
always kind of like, we've
been,
always
like,
done stuff like
YouTubers or
that.
something.
Like we try
or,
to do like
yeah.
YouTube stuff, things like that. Mainly with like, we used to do video games all the time. I think like
That was
I
the
had like
grind,
3
bro.
YouTube channels, never worked out. But it's crazy to me that like I always kind of had this little like dream in my mind, right? But until I started looking at it as like, okay, I can really do this, like make it a goal.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm finally here where like we are creating content for people and like people are responding positively. People really like it, and it's great to see that. And I think that only kind of pushes my goals and my excitement to keep going even further, you know? So like I think one thing is like it can be hard to keep that motivation and keep that excitement when things aren't working in that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're not seeing a lot of success, or like you're not really getting like, you know, acknowledged by other people. But like I think like that comes, you know what I'm saying? Like we were doing this for a while now, like over a year that we've had
We only
Thinking Wealthy.
we didn't start getting anything until like recently. You know?
Yeah, until recently we hadn't started getting like real like recognition for things,
Like
which
11 months of work basically.
yeah, which is, it's cool like now, but it's
Mhm.
like it takes that time, and sometimes it takes that effort, and sometimes it seems like it'll never come. But like to me, like one of the things that I always keep in mind is like, you know, I got my whole life. Like 11 months feels like nothing after all. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
true. Yeah, once
Like-
it's finally passed, it's like, yo,
Yeah.
we're here, bro.
We're here, and it's like crazy to think that like it doesn't even feel like that long that it took for
Mhm.
us to get, you know, the ball rolling and things going.
Yeah.
So like it's fun to see how much, you know, you can grow in a year.
Mm-hmm.
And like for me, the main thing is like goals. Besides like I don't have a lot of like tangible things like an Audi R8, right? To
Mhm.
me, like I guess like to me like a dream would be able to just go wherever I want. Like
Yeah.
I'd love to be able to just travel and like be able to do whatever I
Pull up
want
to
without any
Thailand.
worry, right?
Yeah.
Go travel somewhere,
Mhm.
and all my work and everything I do is all done, you know, on the computer.
Digitally, yeah.
Digitally,
No, I like
I'm
that one
all
too.
over the place. Like to me, that's like kind of I guess the goal in my mind, that I can go see the world and, you know, experience things. That's, you know, kind of a thing that I really love.
What's your ideal place to travel to? Have you like come
Yeah,
up with
well, I
a
mean, like,
specific
I
country?
think I talk a lot about Japan. Like I'd love to go to Japan, as most people probably know.
Anime.
Hence why I'm learning Japanese and everything. But I mean, like, yeah, to me, like Japan's always been a big one. I really want to go to Europe as well, just like travel like all around like France, Spain, Portugal, all that area. It's so beautiful there, so I'd love to go there. I don't know, maybe like freaking like Russia or Sweden or something right
Russia.
there. Something cold. Iceland's really cool. Things like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just like go see some cool, beautiful terrain. Go see new things, right? So to me, like just traveling and being around the world is a really exciting thing. So I guess that would be like my tangible thing. But mainly to me, it's like the thing I love the most is like seeing how I grow,
Mhm.
right? So like every week I hope to at least grow a little bit, get 1% better, like we always say.
Yeah.
Keep working towards, something new. And like I've seen it this week. Like mentally I grew a ton in this week just from things that's been happening. And it's been great. Like I
He's been Sigma mailing some stuff, bro. It's really impressive.
it just like
He scared a woman last night.
I'm not adding any context to that, so
That's
take
all.
it-
That's
take
all
it
you
as
guys
will.
gotta need to know.
But yeah, so basically like mentally I've grown a lot, and realizing that like, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and like
Mhm.
good things will come as they go. Like, what I'm saying? Like it's just gonna kind of happen as it happens. And the best thing to do is just for me to focus on myself and the people that I care about, right? Because like why waste my time with someone who's not gonna care? You know what I mean?
W's, bro.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, I think that, like we've kind of gone into our goals a little bit,
Mhm.
what we want to talk about. But do we want to talk, unless you have more stuff you want to say?
I was gonna ask, like, how
Yeah.
long do you think you're planning on taking to like achieve the dreams? How long do you think it'll be till you're at
So,
that
like-
point where you're just like the digital nomad? I think it's called.
All right. Not sure, to be honest.
Have you thought about it before? Like
I have
when you
thought
wanna
about
get
it a lot. Like how am I gonna get there, and how am I gonna achieve that?
Like you want to achieve it young, at least. I'm
Yeah,
guessing, right?
100% young.
20s
Like,
easily.
in my-
Yeah.
I would hope that by the end of my 20s I'd be at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Just because like at that point it's like either I've graduated and I'm working a job with the whatever degree I have,
Yeah.
or I have that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like definitely, yeah, like within the next 5 years I'm hoping. But it kind of just depends on like how much time and effort I put in. And it's like sometimes I catch myself like, man, I'm not putting enough into it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not putting enough into that dream, and I'm instead just kind of lacking and allowing myself to kind of glide through.
Yeah.
And it's like something I've noticed, like for a lot of people, like they have like a goal or a dream, right? What was that?
That was me rubbing my foot.
Okay,
in the
sorry.
middle.
It was like a weird sound. I got scared. A lot of people have a goal or a dream in their head that they really want,
Mm-hmm.
but they kind of just glide through life without ever actually like putting in the effort to get there.
They don't really like draw into the motivation that comes from the dream, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like they just kind of like sit there and let it like be.
hope it comes.
Hope it comes rather than like taking actions and
Executing on
steps
it.
to
Yeah,
make
yeah,
it
yeah.
happen. Like so to me, I like when I think about it, I'm like, I'm not going to be able to do anything unless I believe in it wholeheartedly, right? So like when I talk to people and they're like, what do you want to do or something, like it used to be like, oh, I'm just going to go to school, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But now I talk about thinking wealthy. I'm like, this is, to me, like this is something that's really important. This is something to me that like, everyone that like knows me now, like kind of like knows like, oh, I'm thinking wealthy.
Thinking
You know what I'm
wealthy,
saying?
bro. Thinking wealthy summer.
Which is funny because I'm like, I used to be like scared to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I thought it was like stupid or cringe, but I just was like, I
Didn't
was,
want to be judged.
yeah, I was nervous because people were like, oh, that's never going to work. You know what I'm saying? But I guess now we've seen a little progress. So it's like cool to show it off and be like, yeah, we got
Yeah.
like 8,000 something,
8,460 some. I think 63 followers.
Yeah, we got followers
We
now.
got the W's.
We got people coming in. We got people telling us that they really like the content. So to me, that's like, I'm like, yeah, of course I'm going to flex out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, it's about really grabbing onto those goals and like making them happen, right? So there's so many people who are just like, I'm just going to live life. I'm just going to do whatever, And like, that's fine. Like you can live your life in this way. That's like, I'm just going to kind of follow the system of like, oh, I'm going to go to college, have fun right now, do whatever. 6
do the
years from now,
default
when
mode.
yeah, 6 years from now when I got my degree and I got a job, I'll just, live the rest of my life working for however much I work for and not do much. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, I'm like, doesn't sound fun. It doesn't sound very interesting. And I want to do more. Right. So like, if you're agreeing with that and you feel like, yeah, I want to do more as well. Like the first step that I think I took to getting there was like mentally realizing I want something more, and then like taking the steps to like finding what that dream is, and that, and then make it into your goal, right? And make it into something that you really care about. And like, if someone asks you, what do you want to do? That's what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? Like if you can't say, this is what I want to do with my life, then it's not a real goal. It's not something that you're really like, that isn't your top thing, Yeah.
I think so. My piece of advice, I guess we'll transition to actually working towards dreams, right? Or like advice on accomplishing goals. My piece of advice is start reading books, right? I would highly recommend just reading like nonfiction books from people that you really are inspired by, or books that people you're inspired by, they recommend. Start reading books so you can get different perspectives on how to accomplish dreams and how to like progress towards your goals and create the reality that you want to create, right? It's extremely important to be able to sit down and just like hear essentially another person's like thoughts in your brain, right? As you're just reading through those pages, like that's their words uninterrupted. So
Right.
that's like that type of value that you can get from reading books is incredible. Like it just the return on investment is crazy.
It's
that
huge.
You can actually get from books. Like I would highly recommend just go find a book that is highly recommended. I would go read the 4-Hour Workweek, right? That's a book I would recommend. Go read something like that, and that'll push you in the right direction, so you can start taking the steps that you need to take.
Right. 100%.
That's my biggest first step. You know,
Yeah, and
don't
I
be
think
afraid to read. Like,
definitely not. Like there's so many books out there that it can kind of seem daunting, but
Yeah.
it's like just start like something that someone recommends. You know, a book that you hear a lot about. You've heard multiple people talk about it. Go pick that up and start reading it. You know, because like at the end of the day, you know, you can take advice and like learn from people who haven't done it, or you take, you know, those books are people who've done it.
Exactly.
People who've
That's
made
what
it
I'm
to
saying,
where
yeah.
your goals are at. So why wouldn't you want to listen to their advice and how they did it, and then just, you know, learn to apply that to yourself, you know?
Exactly. They've already done it. Why would you try to like do it differently, if that makes any sense?
Or
if
do
you're
it on
trying to
your
do
own,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Like everyone great learns from someone else, right?
100%.
Like the greatest, most, you know, intelligent people all had teachers who were also intelligent, you know? So like you gotta learn from other people to make those steps forward.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
Another thing about like kind of achieving goals and stuff is this, like, I think we talk about this concept a lot, but like a lot of people make a mistake or they catch a road bump and then they just say, oh,
Or they quit.
it's done. Can't do it anymore.
It's all over.
Right? And
Nah,
to me,
bro.
I'm like, that's
You cannot quit
can't
just on
do
a little
that.
bump like that.
exactly.
Nah.
And like those mistakes and those things that get in your way are how you learn the most, right? So like you can learn from doing things right,
Yeah.
but a lot of the time the biggest learning experience is when you screw up and then you got to like restart, right? Like that's where you're going to learn the most and do the most, right?
Failure's the stepping stone to success.
Exactly. That's a good quote right there.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is. It's like for everyone, like everything I've done in my life, right? Anything that I've like gotten good at, I started out being bad at it, right? I had to do it over and over and over again, keep trying it over and over and over again until eventually I got to a point where I was like, okay, I understand this now, right? But then also kind of like second point onto that, right? So once you start to get good at something, you can get comfortable with something, right? So like one thing I always try to say is we grow and we learn from making mistakes and like screwing things up,
Yeah.
right? Like in my opinion, that's the best way to learn. It's by, you know, making mistakes, screwing things up, but not by then, you know, if you screw something up and mess up and then you just kind of be like, oh, crap,
It's not for
And
me.
ignore it,
I'm going to quit. Yeah.
right? You didn't learn anything from it. So like the most important thing is make a ton of mistakes, but at least learn from them, right?
Yeah.
Like I make mistakes every day. I do dumb stuff every day, but I learn from it, and then every day I improve a little bit, right? But if you're not acknowledging the mistakes you've made, then it doesn't really matter, right? But then if you start to acknowledge your mistakes and then you get into a comfortable position where you can do something all right, I always say like you got to push yourself to go further then, right? You got to push yourself to that next level where now you have the opportunity to make new mistakes and learn and get even better, right? So like even with Thinking Wealthy, we talked about this, how like felt like we were getting a little too comfortable.
We did talk about this.
We were getting a little bit too in the normal ease of just kind of what we were doing.
It's actually really important. Like we were talking about this and we're like, yo, we're getting too comfortable. And then we started to get aggressive because we caught ourselves, and that's where we've seen the most growth.
Exactly.
Was when we caught
So
ourselves.
it's like once you break down like the thing where it's like, okay, I've gotten comfortable now with whatever, because we can always like up the level a little bit, right? Like
hit the gas a little bit more, you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
And like for instance, like with something like going to the gym, I remember like, you know, it's like, okay, you work out, you're like pumping weight or whatever, and eventually it starts to feel easy, right? If you keep doing the same weight and you keep doing the same workout, and like you eventually your body gets used to it, right? Your body gets stronger and it learns from those previous hard, you know, workouts. Then it starts to build muscle and it gets easier. If you sit in that comfortable position though,
You'll stop progressing.
you'll stop progressing. So what it takes then is like, okay, I've gotten comfortable, next step, right? Next level, okay? And if you keep doing that to achieve your goals, you're going to realize that your goal's getting a lot closer every step you make towards that
Yeah.
goal, right?
People always make these big, massive goals, right? they never break it down into small little steps.
Oh yeah,
Like,
for sure.
have you ever tried to climb up a ladder that has just huge like distances between each little piece that you can like grab onto? It makes it impossible. Like, why would you try to even go on a ladder where you can
Right.
barely grab the next bar? If you go to a ladder and there's a bunch of little bits that you can grab onto, you can easily climb up that thing and you get to the top so much easier when you
Exactly.
set those little steps before you. It's the exact same way for your goals. Just set those little steps and constantly progressive overload, right? Don't stay comfortable, progress onto the next level each time. And every time you take those little steps forward, you inch your way closer to that goal. Inch by inch, bro.
Exactly. So like, if I had like 3 things I'd say for people who are like, how do I achieve my goals better?
Mm-hmm.
These are, I'm gonna say mine, and then maybe you could like say
I got
yours,
like
okay?
one practical step that
Okay.
I think that you should take. But anyways, yeah, go ahead.
I'd say it starts like basically just recapping what we just
Mhm.
talked about in this last like 10 minutes. Start by, looking at that goal and making little steps to get there,
Mhm.
right? Don't just have a huge goal with no steps. You're never going to make it. You need to understand that like it's a long process and you're going to take step by step by step. And then through each of those steps, learn from your mistakes so you can make it to that next level.
Yeah.
And then you're going to get comfortable. You're going to get to a point where maybe you'll sit there for a little bit on one step and be comfortable, but always look towards the next little step and always be looking forward, not just down, right? Where you're just staring at your feet.
Yeah.
Got to be looking forward to move forward. You know what I mean? So like keep pushing for that next level to get to that next thing. And you're going to start realizing your goals are going to be, coming true a lot faster than you think.
There you go. So for me, this is my one big practical step. This is, I was actually at church one day and the pastor was talking about writing down your goals, right? And I was like, doesn't everyone write down their goals? Like, it's just whatever, right? But apparently, not a lot of people write down their goals.
Definitely not.
And so he was talking about the psychological effect of writing down your goals boosts its chances of getting completed by like 65% or something like that.
Right.
Like
It's huge.
just the act of writing it down. It can be as simple as like, right, I want to be rich, right? And then you put a little check box next to it, right? That increases your chances by like 65%. Now, if
Right.
you want to increase it even more, start to break down your goals, break your goals down into little well-defined steps, right? We want to keep everything nice and defined. Break it down and be like, I want to make $3,000 by January 26th, 2023, right? Like you want to have those specific
Right.
details like that. And then you like break it down even further, get all into those little steps. Then you create that ladder to your goal, right? And then you just create even check boxes next to it. You increase your chances by like 65%. Huge like boost right there. And then you just climb step by step by step by step by step all the way up to the top. And next thing you know, you'll be there and you're like, what?
Exactly.
So it's that easy. It really is.
It really is that easy. And it just, it starts from making those steps to be successful, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, what we got to do is constantly like look to make those little steps or you're never going to achieve it. Like I think that's the biggest thing to take away is like look for the little steps that you can do to get to that goal. You can't expect yourself to make one giant jump to your goal. Like one day it's just
Mhm.
going to change. Do you know what I mean?
It's never going to just
Like
change
if you have
like
this
that,
like
yeah.
crazy goal, it's not going to be like, oh, one day now I've achieved it.
Yeah, it never
No.
never will be like
It's
that.
like every little step along the way to get there, right? You got to get yourself there and you got to take that long path to get there. But like you said about like writing goals, I think like one thing that's been crazy is I, talk about journaling a lot.
Yeah.
I journal every day. And in my journal, most of the time, it kind of just breaks down to basically saying like what happened in the last day and like things that maybe mentally affected me. And then like my goals for that day, like how I want to improve, what I learned from what happened in the last day, and then how I'm going to make it steps to improve. And
Mhm.
since I've been doing that, and since I've been doing that every day, that's where I've seen the most growth.
Yep.
So it's so crucial about like when you say like writing stuff down and like making it. When you write it down, it just becomes so much more ingrained in what you
It's
actually
tangible.
do.
It's like real.
Right?
Comes out into reality right there.
Now it's in reality. It's not just a thought in your head anymore. You can start making the steps to get there. So like it really does start with just like, okay, here's my goal. Here's what I want to do. It's time to take action and move forward, right?
You know who probably doesn't write their dreams and goals down? LeBron James.
Actually, he probably has written his dreams down pretty well.
I'm thinking about it. We haven't bashed on LeBron in so long.
We haven't done a LeBron bashing in a bit.
LeBron bashing session. I just want to acknowledge this. LeBron, we love you. Just kidding. No, we don't.
Write your dreams down.
Write your
Don't
dreams
be
down.
Like
Come on, LeBron.
James.
Yeah, don't be like LeBron.
He doesn't write his dreams down.
That's because he's number 2 in NBA. You want to know who number 1 is?
Who's number one?
Michael Jordan. Number 1.
Yeah, like I don't watch basketball that much. Not really.
I don't know either, but Michael Jordan, he's better
Michael
than
Jordan.
LeBron.
Yeah, frick LeBron.
But yeah, don't be like LeBron. Write your dreams down. All right, write your goals, break it down, and climb. I think that's the biggest thing. Is just like thinking. You want to think of your goals as that ladder at the top, right? And you're just gonna be climbing that ladder, right? You don't want to be going up giant loops where you have to like pull and like hurt yourself and just like you want a nice good ladder.
Exactly. But I mean, I feel like we've broken down a good amount of it. If there's anything else you want to say?
No, I think that covers everything. Just climb that ladder. The viewers listening right now, genuinely after this episode, go grab a piece of paper, stare at the wall for a little bit, and just write down your dream, like just huge goal, right? Make it as big, as bland as possible, and then just break it down a bunch.
Break it down.
Break it down into the smallest little steps. Break it all the way down to the step that you can take like today in the next hour.
Yeah, and you don't have to break it down like immediately. That's one thing like I think.
Yeah.
Like you can have this big goal and then you don't have to break it down into a bunch of steps like at the start. The steps kind of come as you go. So
Yeah,
that's like
that's
one
true.
thing. Like first write your big goal and then like your first, second, maybe third step, right? Your first 3 things you're going to do to start getting there. And then what you're going to see is after you do those first 3, you've learned a lot. So now you got new steps to make
Exactly.
it
You
even
learn
further.
how to make the more defined steps.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's like
100%.
you're like paving the road to your goal as you do it. You know what I mean? So like as you're doing things, as you're writing them down, you're going to be paving your goal and getting there faster, you know?
I 100% agree. So yeah, just literally after this episode, don't be the guy who watches this and be like, that was nice, and just like goes back to his
Goes
life.
back to doing whatever.
Just literally grab a piece of paper. I guarantee you got some time, sit down a little bit and just write it. It'll take like 5 minutes.
Do it.
Not even that long. Yeah, do it.
All right.
I think that covers it. You know what, guys? Go have a great week this week. It's Monday.
It's Monday.
It's 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
It is.
We only take dubs.
You only take dubs. It's
Go
Thinking
achieve
Wealthy
some
Summer.
greatness. Thinking Wealthy Summer. All right. We ain't here for City Boy Summer. No Hot Girl Summer. Nah.
No.
Thinking Wealthy Summer.
Thinking Wealthy Summer. By the end of this summer, we're going to be goats.
Oh, 100%.
People are going to be looking at us like we're something different. And they're going to be looking at
easily.
you like you're something different too, all right?
Exactly.
So let's go grind together.
Take some W's.
Take some
We'll
dubs.
see you guys tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Next week for
Next week.
episode 18.
Episode 18. We'll see you guys then. Peace out.